Rain hammered against the glass roof of Eastbrook Central Mall, the storm rumbling like distant rage. Inside, the weekend crowd flowed in every direction. Families shopping, teenagers laughing, couples arguing over restaurant choices. In the middle of this chaos wandered a small girl, no older than 6. Her name was Ember, a tiny backpack shaped like a fox. Pink sneakers, curly hair tied into 2 shaking bunches, tears welling in her eyes. She clutched a little stuffed bunny and whispered over and over, "Mummy, Mummy, where are you?" But no one heard her. People brushed by without noticing, too busy, too rushed, too wrapped in adult concerns. Until she bumped into a man standing outside a luxury shoe store. A man known for his impatience. A man whose anger lived right beneath the skin. Dominic Hale. A defense attorney with a reputation for being ruthless, both in court and outside it. Today he was reviewing notes for his biggest case of the year, a corporate embezzlement trial that could vault his career to national recognition. He didn't like interruptions. He didn't like children. And he definitely didn't like surprises. Unfortunately, Ember was all 3. Ember stumbled into Dominic's leg and fell backward. Her bunny skidded across the floor. Dominic jerked around, irritation already boiling. "What the? Watch where you're going," he snapped. Ember sniffed, eyes red, voice trembling. "Sir, I'm lost. I can't find my—" "Oh, fantastic," he muttered, rolling his eyes. "Just what I needed. A crying kid." People glanced over, then quickly pretended not to see. Dominic's voice rose. "Where are your parents? Why are you wandering around like this?" Ember shook, the fear overpowering her ability to respond. I don't know where." "Then go find security," Dominic barked. "Don't just bump into strangers." "What kind of child?" His assistant, Naomi, rushed up. "Dominic, stop." He didn't. She should have been watching where she was going. "I'm in the middle of preparing for the case of my career." Ember whimpered. Dominic continued, loud enough for half the mall to hear. "Do I look like a babysitter? Get out of my way." Naomi knelt beside the girl. "It's okay, sweetie. Can you tell me your name?" "Ember," the little girl whispered. Naomi smiled gently. "That's a beautiful name. We'll find your mum, I promise." Dominic scoffed. "Naomi, we don't have time for this." Naomi shot him a glare he ignored. "Come on," Dominic said sharply, walking off. "We have 1 hour before my meeting with the client." Naomi hesitated, thorn. Her eyes flicked to Ember, still trembling. And then she made her choice. "Dominic," she said firmly, "I'm staying with her." He froze. "You're what?" "You heard me. She's terrified. And we are decent human beings, or at least." She corrected herself. "I am." Several people overheard and murmured. Dominic's jaw twitched. "Suit yourself," he growled. "But you're responsible for whatever happens. Don't come crying to me." Naomi watched him walk away, then turned back to Ember. "Let's find your mum, okay?" Ember nodded. But fate was already unraveling around Dominic Hale, pulling him toward the justice he thought he controlled. Naomi guided Ember to the mall's help desk. Security officers broadcast messages. Shoppers offered descriptions. A crowd formed. Ember's breathing steadied as Naomi held her hand. Meanwhile, Dominic sat in a coffee shop overlooking the mall, steaming as he scribbled courtroom arguments. "Honestly," he muttered to himself, "if parents can't control their kids—" A man at the next table interrupted. "Excuse me. I saw you yelling at that little girl. She was lost." Dominic didn't even glance up. "Not my problem." The man shook his head. "She's 6. Dominic smirked. Then she should learn to pay attention. The man stared at him. "You're a real piece of work." Dominic finally looked up, glare sharp as a blade. "Mind your own business." But everyone who had witnessed the incident remembered his face. Dominic didn't know it yet, but dozens of phones had captured the moment he screamed at a crying child. Online, a wave was forming. One that would reshape his entire life. It took 15 minutes. That was all. 15 minutes before a woman burst through the crowd, damp from rain, eyes wild with panic. "Ember!" Ember saw her and sprinted, sobbing into her mother's arms. "You're safe. Oh God, baby, you're safe." Naomi's eyes softened. The mother kissed Ember's forehead again and again before turning to Naomi. "Thank you," she breathed. "Thank you so much." "I just stayed with her," Naomi said. "She's very brave." Ember hugged her bunny and nodded. A security guard approached. "Ma'am, we're glad you found her." She was frightened. The mother's jaw tightened. "Who found her?" Naomi shook her head. "She found me. But someone else yelled at her before I came." The mother stiffened. "Yelled?" Her voice dropped a register. "A grown adult?" Naomi nodded. The mother inhaled sharply, scanning the crowd. "Do you know who?" People turned. Fingers lifted. Whispers swirled. It was that man who stormed off. The one with the briefcase. The loud lawyer. He was awful. Security pulled up mall footage. There he was. Dominic Hale. Clear as day. Red-faced. Pointing at a crying 6-year-old. The mother's eyes darkened. "What's his name?" "Dominic Hale," Naomi whispered. She stiffened. "Hale." Her jaw clenched. "Are you sure?" "Yes, I'm his assistant." For a moment, the world seemed to freeze around the mother, because she recognized that name all too well. Dominic Hale. The attorney scheduled to appear in her courtroom on Monday. Her courtroom. Because she wasn't just Ember's mother. She was Judge Helena Rowan, one of the most respected, sharp-minded, unshakable judges in the state. And Dominic Hale had just screamed at her daughter, not knowing she was the one who would decide his client's fate. Justice didn't just knock today. It kicked down the door. Naomi returned to Dominic's table, breathless. He barely glanced up. "You abandoned your post," he said coldly. Naomi sat down, shaking. "You yelled at a lost child." "She bumped into me. She was crying. Not my problem." "She was 6, Dominic." Naomi, "I have work to." Then he saw her expression. It cut straight through his arrogance. "What?" Dominic snapped. Naomi dropped the bomb. "Her mother is Judge Helena Rowan." Dominic blinked. The name hit him like a fist. "No," he whispered. Naomi nodded. "And everyone saw how you treated her little girl." Dominic felt the world tilt. The upcoming case was everything. Everything. He needed Judge Rowan on his side. He needed her respect. Her professionalism. Her fairness. And now? He had screamed at her child. Publicly. Cruelly. Heartlessly. Dominic stood up abruptly. I need to find her. I need to fix this." Naomi reached for his sleeve. Dominic thought, "Not now." But Dominic wasn't thinking. As usual. He was reacting. He stormed toward the crowd forming around the help desk. Judge Rowan stood tall, rain-soaked coat, calm posture, fierce eyes. Ember clung to her hip. Naomi tried to stop Dominic, but he pushed past her. "Judge Rowan," she called. Silence fell. People parted like a curtain. Judge Rowan turned slowly. Dominic felt like he was shrinking under her gaze. "Your Honor," he began. "I want to explain." "Stop." Her voice was low, controlled. More terrifying than shouting. "You yelled at my child." Dominic swallowed. I didn't know who she." "That's the point," Judge Rowan said sharply. "You didn't know. And still, you spoke to her like that." Dominic stammered. "It was a misunderstanding." "Was it?" She asked coldly. "She was crying, lost, terrified, and you, an adult, a legal representative in my court, chose to berate her." "I wasn't myself." "You were exactly yourself," she said. A collective exhale spread through the group. Dominic's chest tightened. "But Your Honor, I swear, if I had known." Her eyes flashed. "If you had known she was my daughter, would you have treated her better?" Dominic froze. The trap closed around him. He had no answer. Judge Rowan stepped closer, voice steady. "I don't judge people by how they treat me, Mr. Hale." She placed a protective hand over Ember's back. "I judge them by how they treat the vulnerable." Dominic's throat closed. Because she was right. Because the truth was laid bare. Because everyone was watching. Judge Rowan turned to Naomi. "You acted with compassion, integrity, decency. I thank you." Naomi nodded, speechless. Then Judge Rowan faced Dominic one last time. "On Monday," she said coldly, "I will see you in my courtroom." She leaned in. "And I will remember today, not with bias, but with clarity." With that, she lifted Ember, who rested her head against her mother's shoulder, and walked away through the whispering crowd. Dominic stood frozen, crushed, exposed, and utterly powerless. By the time Dominic returned to his office, the videos had gone viral. Mall patrons posted clips, angles from multiple locations. Captions included, "Lawyer screams at lost child." "Heartless attorney berates crying girl." "Judge's daughter yelled at by man representing case in her court." His client called. "Is this you?" The CO barked. Dominic's voice cracked. "Yes. You've jeopardized everything. You think a judge won't remember that? You think she'll see you as credible after this? Please, sir, I can fix." "You're fired," the CO said coldly. "And for the record, I hope you learn what accountability feels like." The line went dead. Dominic stared into the darkness of his office. He had lost the biggest opportunity of his career. In minutes. Because of how he treated a child. He sank into a chair. For the first time in years. Dominic Hale cried. 3 days later. Monday morning. Courtroom 6A. Judge Helena Rowan entered, robes flowing, expression neutral. Dominic stood at the defense table, alone, trembling, smaller than he had ever been. Before the proceedings began, Judge Rowan raised a hand. "Mr. Hale, I received your letter." Dominic lowered his head. The letter had taken him all night. It wasn't a defense. It wasn't an excuse. It was the first honest thing he had written in years. Judge Rowan continued. "You acknowledged your actions. You accepted responsibility. And you apologized properly." A murmur passed through the courtroom. Dominic's voice cracked. "Your Honor, I'm sorry for what I did to your daughter. There is no excuse." Judge Rowan looked at him for a long, heavy moment. "Accountability," she said softly, "is the beginning of justice." Dominic bowed his head. "Thank you for giving me the chance to learn." Judge Rowan nodded once. "Let's begin the case." And they did. Professionally. Impartially. Fairly. But Dominic never forgot that day in the mall. And he never treated a stranger the same way again. Justice didn't need a courtroom that day. It walked through a mall, holding a child's hand. It looked a rude man in the eye and showed him who he really was. It lifted compassion over arrogance, humanity over ego. And through a frightened girl named Ember, it delivered a lesson Dominic Hale would remember for the rest of his life. You never know who someone is, or how your cruelty may return to you.